And hello and welcome everyone to the Buddhist Recovery Network Academy. My name is Susanna and I'm joining you from Espoo, Finland. It's 8 p.m. here. And for some of us, it's good morning. So good morning or good evening or good night, wherever you are. I am a big fan of Buddhism recovery and Buddhist recovery, and I facilitate both 8-step recovery meetings and mindfulness-based addiction recovery courses here in Finland. And now that we already had one meeting where I was attending, I can say that I'm a member of the board of the Buddhist Recovery Network. And we have today an academy teaching offered by Kaira Jewel Lingo, and the pronouns are she and her.
And it's pronounced Kaira.
Kaira, sorry. And so thanks for the offering and joining us today. And the topic for Kaira's teaching is we were made for these times. I will tell a little bit more about that in a while. And thanks everybody to participants for being here and being part of our community today. And if you wish, you can still put to the chat, where you're from and just say hi to everybody. And what is going to happen for the next hour is that first, when we are done with the beginning stuff, Kaira is going to lead a short meditation. And then there's the Dharma talk, and we will end with about 10 minutes of Q&A, so questions and answers. And depending what questions you have, there might be also some reflection at the end. And then a few words about Dharma. So all of our teachings are given freely, and we are blessed with some amazing teachers who have experience on the cushion, experience working with body, speech, and mind, experience in the ongoing practice of recovery by the way of Dharma. As we practice the Buddha's teaching of generosity, we invite you to give dana that will be given to support our ongoing Buddhist Recovery Network meetings and to support the teacher. You can give on a one-time or recurring basis using the link posted in the chat field. Please be sure to indicate that your donation is for the Academy, and we sincerely thank you for your generosity. And the Dana link is now in the chat. And then to the main thing. So I'm very happy to introduce our guest teacher tonight. So Kaira Jewel Lingo is a Dharma teacher who has a lifelong interest in blending spirituality and meditation with social justice. Having grown up in an ecumenical Christian community where families practiced a new kind of monasticism and worked with the poor, at the age of 25, she entered a Buddhist monastery in the Plum Village tradition and spent 15 years living as a nun under the guidance of Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh. She received lamp transmission from Thich Nhat Hanh and became a Zen teacher in 2007, and is also a teacher in the Vipassana Insight lineage through Spirit Rock Meditation Center. Today, she sees her work as a continuation of the engaged Buddhist developed by Thich Nhat Hanh, as well as the work of her parents inspired by their stories and her dad's work with Martin Luther King Jr. on desegregating the South. In addition to writing We Were Made for These Times, 10 Lessons in Moving Through Change, Loss and Disruption, she's also the editor of Thich Nhat Hanh's Planting Seeds, Practicing Mindfulness with Children. Now based in New York, she teaches and leads retreats internationally, provides spiritual mentoring, and interweaves art, play, nature, racial and earth justice, and embodied mindfulness practice in her teaching. She especially feels called to share the Dharma with Black, Indigenous, and people of color, as well as activists, educators, youth artists, and families. And later on, we put her website, so kairajewel.com, to the chat, so you can go there and learn more. And as said before, the topic of the teaching is we were made for these times. So Kaira, the stage or screen actually is all yours.
Thank you very much, Susanna. Just want to check that you all are hearing me without any difficulty. Great. Well, it's really a joy to be with you all. It's my first time joining your group, and I'm really glad that it exists. It's such an important interweaving of Buddhism and recovery. So thank you for opening your doors to share your community with me. And I'm very moved also by all the different countries that are represented here, from Moscow to Finland to New Zealand to the UK to the United States, and probably more that are coming in. So feels, even if on a global stage we're finding it hard to unite around some common values, here in our group we are demonstrating that coming together is possible. So I am grateful for that. And Mexico, viva! Welcome also from Mexico. So I wanted to begin by just taking the temperature of this gathering of folks and ask you if you would share in the chat, what are you bringing to this moment? What are you caring about? What is on your heart, on your mind, that you might like our community to know about? And yeah, if you want to just put a word, a sentence, a phrase in the chat about what's alive in you as you join this group. Hope. Be kind to yourself. Peace. I'm releasing. Kindness. Realistic positive action for the world. Repair after conflict. I need connection to community. Great and sadness. The invasion of Ukraine is most unsettling. Equanimity, opening my heart, sadness, the presence of spirit while people are dying, self-compassion, my open heart. Can I develop and practice equanimity? Connection, my mother recovering from cancer surgery. Compassion, community, peace and love. Love, peace, joy. Listening more deeply. Grief and sadness. Curiosity. So breathing with all of these expressions, concerns, thank you for sharing. I would invite us now to practice a meditation together on cultivating compassion, compassion for ourselves, compassion for those that we're close to, that we love, and also compassion for those that are going through difficulty. There are many wars that are happening right now, and there's lots of suffering in the world, even beyond these wars. And so we'll touch that with the healing energy of compassion. So I invite you to come into whatever posture supports you in presence and in alertness, in awareness. And also in ease and relaxation, so balancing a restfulness with a presence. Feeling your body and inviting your body to arrive in this moment as fully as you can, leaving behind whatever you did before this and allowing all of yourself to really be in this moment. Connecting with the flow of your breath. Perhaps taking a few deeper breaths. Returning to your normal rhythm of breath and noticing the sensations in your body. Now begin bringing to mind someone who you care about, getting a sense of them, feeling them. Feeling your connection to them. How much you care for their well-being. And sending them kindness. And also touching the fact that they struggle in their life, just as all humans do. So connect with difficulty this beloved one may be going through, their fear, their pain. their confusion, their frustration. Because you care about them, notice how compassion arises for them. How you may feel moved in your heart by their struggles. And then extend compassion to them like a beam from your heart. And if it's helpful, you could use these phrases. May you be held in compassion. May your struggles and sorrows be eased. May you be safe and protected. May your heart be at peace. You're welcome to adapt these phrases so that they express your care. Now imagine this dear one gazing back at you with the same loving care, feeling the connection to you. And they might say, just as you have offered compassion and kindness, I want to offer it back to you. I see your struggles, your sorrows, your pain. So let yourself receive their words to you, their phrases to you. May your struggles be eased. May you hold yourself in great compassion. May you be safe and protected. May your heart be at peace. So take in this care for you, their care, maybe putting a hand on your heart, connecting with their wish that they really want this for you to receive this compassion and say yes to it. So you can say the phrases to yourself now. May I hold myself in compassion. May my struggles be eased. May I be safe and protected. May my heart be at peace. May I hold myself in compassion for all the ways I struggle. Allowing the heart to open with courage and tenderness, strength and compassion. Sense how you can open your heart and extend compassion from your own heart, your own consciousness, across time and space to connect with the struggles of others, just as they connect with you. And so today we extend our compassion and offer it out to all those caught up in wars, in violence, who are frightened and lost. Who are sick. To the young people being conscripted and drawn into these wars throughout the world. Eritrea, Sudan, Libya, Ukraine, Myanmar, Syria, Yemen. That those who enjoy the privilege of peace might not forget their tormented fellow humans. From your heart, extending wishes and prayers of compassion to all those places of war in every direction, held in compassion. Those that are confused and caught in hatred and discrimination. May your sorrows be eased. May you be held in great compassion. May you be safe and protected. May your heart be at peace. Radiating this courageous and tender energy from your heart, or picturing the faces of a mother holding her child, elderly, the youth, the children caught up in war. Touching that we are connected across time and space. As we listen to the sound of the bell to close, letting the sound carry our care, our compassion into the cosmos. This sound that can penetrate everywhere. The sound of deep care. And I honor Jack Cornfield for the inspiration of this meditation. So, this topic, we were made for these times. If we have compassion in our hearts, we can meet what is arising. And I was recently sharing with friends in Sri Lanka where things are also in a difficult state with lots of food insecurity, scarcity, a lot of worry and fear in the midst of the pandemic. And they asked, what's the most important thing to share with people who are experiencing great uncertainty and fear and worry and anxiety? And I spoke about coming home to ourselves. That's the first lesson in my book, We Were Made for These Times. That if we can return to who we are in this moment, just as it is, even in the midst of great challenge and change and upheaval, we have a path, we have a way forward. So my teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, would often tell the story that when many people were fleeing Vietnam in boats, very overcrowded boats after the war ended, he would say if just one person on the boat could remain calm, the whole boat would have a chance to survive. So that calm that one person could offer was about coming home. The calm is available to us when we're able to touch into our deepest reality, which is deeper than our reactivity, our fear, our worry. So when we meet these moments of loss, of confusion, of heartbreak, of betrayal, of disappointment, we realize we can't control the way our life is unfolding, the way our situation is unfolding, personally or on a collective level. But this practice of coming home helps us. Also, this practice of mindfulness. It helps us to move through these intense and challenging times in ways that don't add to our suffering and difficulty, that help us to keep our boat from capsizing and keep our community boat from capsizing. And so this really is a way to speak about mindfulness, or being present, being in the moment, is coming home to ourselves. It happens as soon as we take a breath and we know we're taking a breath. We're beginning the journey to come home to ourselves. As soon as we hold a cup of tea and we know we're holding the cup of tea. When we bring our mind back to our body, we're ending the exile, the separation. And when we come back and touch this home in us, we are safe. There is this experience, this place in us that can't be taken away from us, that cannot be destroyed, can't be damaged. No matter what happens around us, if we can find this home inside of us, we are always safe. And so when we touch this experience of coming home, it's like when we finally arrived after a long journey. We may experience peace, freedom, even if the outer circumstances are still very confining, very difficult. Coming home is this feeling of belonging, of being able to hold ourselves and hold others. And this is really important to cultivate because we can live our whole lives estranged from this home inside of ourselves. My teacher sums up his whole lifetime of teachings. He was a monk for some 80 years. With the one sentence, I have arrived, I am home. So that was for him the principal aim of our practice, is to experience that we have already arrived. We are already home. It's not somewhere in the future that we have to run to or get to. There's no other place to be than right here in this moment. And we experience ourselves at home, no longer looking for refuge outside of us in some other place or time. When we touch the truth that all that we long for and search for is here inside of us. We can experience encountering this spacious and free place of our true home anytime we tune in to what's happening inside of us and around us. It can happen when we walk. It can happen when we're eating. It can happen when we look up at the sky or hear the birds. We can touch our interconnectedness with all of life. And it's a very nourishing kind of food that we can heal ourselves with when we're in touch with that kind of energy of being awake, of receiving the gifts of life that are available to us in every moment. So if we're not aware, if we're not present, then we've left our home, right? And our home is empty. And that's when we get caught up in our reveries and the grip of worry, the seduction of strong emotions, some storyline. And if we stay away from our home for a long time, then dust accumulates and unwanted visitors can take up residence in our home. Things like stress and tension accumulate in our bodies and minds. And over time, if we don't care for them, we don't bring attention to them, they can lead to physical or mental illness. But the beauty of awareness is that we can always return home to ourselves. It's never too late. Our home is always there waiting for us to come back. We can get there through the door of our breathing, the door of our body sensations, bodily movements, the door of connecting with the reality around us, like sounds in our environment, the colors, the shapes, the textures. And when we come back home in this way, we are able to take stock and survey our territory, to see clearly what parts of our inner landscape need more support, what parts of our lives need more attention, need more care. So it's especially tempting in times of upheaval, in times of anxiety and transition and change, to abandon our homes, to leave our territory in search of answers, perhaps by worrying about what's going to happen in the future. But this is precisely the moment when we need to return to the present moment, to feel our bodies and take good care of ourselves in this moment. The future is made of this moment. So if we take good care of this moment, even if it's very difficult, we're taking good care of the future. But it can be hard to come home if we sense that there's unresolved pain that has accumulated that we don't want to face. It's scary, it's uncomfortable. And we may get into the habit of avoiding our home completely, all the time. We don't want to be with those raw and unprocessed parts of our experience that are painful and maybe scary. So if this is the case, we can have compassion for ourselves for not wanting to return home and face these difficulties. We don't beat ourselves up for our avoiding. We give ourselves credit. It's hard. And yet, the only way to heal these blockages, this accumulated pain, is to go back to that, to touch them. That's the only place, the only way we can make our home more cozy is to turn towards these parts of our experience. So the teaching goes, the only way out is in. And so it's possible to come back to ourselves, to put our house in order. We have means to do this, resources within us, without us, around us. So we can learn to enjoy going back to our true home, making it a safe and welcoming refuge for ourselves. So we may spend a lot of time and energy trying to predict or control what the future will bring, especially in times of uncertainty, but this doesn't usually serve us very well. We actually don't need to know what the future is going to bring. We just need to know what's happening in this moment. And if we touch it deeply, our body and our mind united, we'll find that we have all that we need to meet this moment. We won't find what we need to meet tomorrow or a month from now because we can't know exactly what's coming. That's where we get stressed, is by thinking we have to have what we need right now for tomorrow or a week or a month from now. We just need what's needed for this moment now. And we have that. That's why we were made for these times. We have what we need. So I'm going to pause here and just invite us to take a few breaths together. I'll invite another sound of the bell and just see if the bell might support you in touching into the home that's inside of you, that's always available. And so now we have some little more than 10 minutes for questions, reflections, comments.
Maybe I can start by saying that thank you, thank you, thank you. So soothing. I don't usually get it, but get the same feeling. But now I felt that you were talking only to me. Your presence and your wisdom, it went straight to my heart. And thanks for the I have arrived, I'm home. Thank you very much. Throw is asking, can you repeat by saying what Thich Nhat Hanh said about arriving home? But I guess it was the one that I said.
Sure, yes. So, so he said that all of his teachings, many decades of time as a teacher, could be summarized by one phrase: I have arrived, I am home. And this is really the experience of not needing to be anywhere else, to be someone else, to be in some other time than right here and right now. I have arrived, this sense of really like coming home from a long journey, like that is the state we can cultivate in any moment. Like this is where I need to be, right in this step, right in this seat, not somewhere else, not some other time. I can touch that I'm at home right here, right now. Because so often we live at a distance from ourselves. We live somewhere in the past, somewhere in the future. We aren't at home. And so this is a very powerful and challenging practice to unplug ourselves from all these other things that kind of keep us dispersed instead of collected.
I actually also have a question. In your bio, it says that you are working with children as well. I myself, I'm an educator with the first graders, 6 and 7 years old kids. And I know that there are a lot of people here who have children. So what kind of, like, I don't know if pro tip is a good word, but what kind of tips do you have for us who are with children in challenging times?
Thank you for the question. You know, our children, the children in our lives, their nervous systems are dependent on our nervous systems as the adults in their lives. And so this practice of coming home to ourselves, you could also talk about it as learning how to regulate our nervous systems. And so this practice of feeling our breath, feeling our body, staying in the reality of what's actually happening, not in our mind-made reality, is very supportive to young people. So our presence, our ability to be grounded, that one calm person on the boat we are providing that for the children in our lives as well. So if they're upset by a difficulty in the world, in their community, if we are practicing to come home to ourselves, we can help them, our children, also come home to themselves. So we can help them to recognize what's going on if they're feeling anxious, if they're feeling fearful, if they're feeling angry. We can name that with them and ask them, where do you feel that in your body? What would it mean to hold that part of your body with kindness, with care, just as we were doing in our meditation today? Children can do that, even young children, even physical pain. Oh, my shoulder hurts. Let's hold your shoulder with kindness. Bring the care of one hand or your two hands to where it's hurting. So we can water those seeds in them of regulating themselves through turning towards what's painful with awareness, with mindfulness, and also being in touch with what is resourcing for them. So noticing the beauty even when things are difficult. If they have a pet or a plant or a tree, like to really, be there with them and say, touch this tree, pet your dear pet and really enjoy that. Let that come into your body and mind. It's possible to still be in touch with joy, to still be in touch with goodness, even when things are very difficult. That can be very balancing for us. So I have also led a meditation for young children to talk to their strong emotions, to say to their anger, my anger, I see you. I know that you're here. It's okay that you're here. I care about you. My awareness is holding you. And they are able to care for their anger, to care for their sadness. They can cry, they can feel it, they can express it, and they can still be compassionate with themselves as well. So there's so much at our disposal, there's so much that's available to us when we come home to ourselves that's actually not available if we avoid our home. All of that healing, all of that intelligence, all of that wisdom, it can only come online, it can only be accessed if we agree to come back and, be uncomfortable if there is something uncomfortable. But beneath that painful experience is a lot of wisdom, a lot of healing, a lot of freedom. So thank you so much for these questions, everyone. And I'll just say very deep gratitude for this chance to be with you and to practice together. And I'll turn it over to you, Susanna, to close.
Thank you, Kaira. There are also other offerings from Kaira. So you can sign up for Kaira's newsletter and learn about Kaira's upcoming events and at Kaira's website. That's going to be in the chat. And then there's also this Buddhist Christian community of meditation and action that meets monthly on Monday evenings. And more information on that you can also find from Kaira's website. And then there are some highlights for in-person retreats in 2022. I'm teaching a Kaira is teaching a nature retreat at Spirit Rock, a weekend on the topic of the book at the Omega Institute, and the People of Color Eco Dharma retreat in Colorado. So those are the offerings. By the way, I noticed that, Kaira, your calm presence makes me also want to talk slower. I'm usually very fast temperament, so this is welcoming kind of like space that I have in my own experience right now. And then again, about Dana, your generosity can help to strengthen the recovery community and to grow the academy, and can be practical expression of gratitude and metta, that is loving kindness. We invite you to practice generosity and to give Dana in support of these teachings, to be shared with our teacher and with the Buddhist Recovery Network. And there is a link in the chat that will take you to the BRN, so Buddhist Recovery Network website. And please indicate that your gift is for the academy. Then there's going to be a link for the podcasts also in the chat. And you can also find us from Facebook. So please come there, and please remember to answer the membership questions, because that is the way that we approve your request to join. And our next Buddhist Recovery Network Academy event is on Sunday, April the 3rd in 2022 with Vince Cullen. And I want to thank you, everybody, joining us today. May the merit gained we benefit all living beings. May we all be well, happy, and peaceful. And we will keep the room open for a few moments for you to copy the links and to say goodbye to everybody. So thank you. Hopefully we will see you next week. And again, a special thanks for Kaira. Thanks for coming, and hopefully we will have you again.
Thank you so much, everyone. Much care. Be well.